Welcome to TopShot NFT. I'm Jason, and today we've got our Australian correspondent, Wades. Wades, thanks for joining us. And a special guest, Shake4ndBake.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Shake is a YouTuber. He is living every kid's dream, proving that parents wrong across the world that said, stop playing video games. You'll never make a living doing it, because he makes a living playing 2K, which is perfectly fitting for TopShot. Now he's dipping his toes in the waters of NBA TopShot. Shake, welcome. What's your TopShot short-term life been like so far? I believe you just joined in, and you're going from one social platform to a whole new community.
It's been pretty good. It's definitely been wild. So I got in, I think it would be about like 12 or so days ago now, maybe a little longer. I'm not sure. But I got in on Monday, and there was packs that day coming. And I didn't even get to add Dapper to my account, because the first day when I signed up, they were just it was moving so slow. So many people were tweeting about this. And it was kind of starting to go viral. I just remember seeing so many tweets that day from NBA players and everyone. So first day, I didn't get packs. I couldn't even if I had gotten the pack, in the queue, I was so far back. Yeah. It wouldn't have mattered. And I didn't have any money in my Dapper, and it wasn't allowing me to do anything with it. I couldn't add funds or anything. So then I think 3 more pack queues I missed. I was just so far back. I eventually got my money in there, which took, again, 3 or 4 days, just because there was so many people signing up. But I'm glad I did sign up when I did, because I did hit the rare pack drop last Friday, wow, which was pretty big for me. So I got top 1,000 in the queue, which I was just blown away by. I did my first YouTube video on that. I opened it on someone's live stream. They had 2,000 people, and it was pretty crazy. Got that Trae Young, which is pretty much my gem that I'm holding on to right now for dear life. So I got that. And then I think I got a Michael Porter Jr. that was in that set, the challenge set. I sold that for pretty solid and basically made my money back already. And yeah, I bought a couple moments, and I'm a Celtics fan, so I've started kind of collecting those and trying to get more of them as I go. But obviously some of them are pretty expensive. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The season 1 ones they're really pricey. So yeah.
Hey, Shake, so what was the content on that pack? So there was 2 rares in that, 2 MGLs?
It was 1 rare, and then I think 5 other common base ones. So that's a nice pack to hit. I mean,
yeah, he did all right.
6 moments, so $99. That's a really good one to hit, definitely, especially with the change of the tiers too. Yeah, sorry, it's fine.
He's trading at 2,300 now, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well. He was he went to 3,000 on that Saturday, but I was I think he's going to go up higher, and I still do. So
we'll go ahead and tell you, you're going to make some mistakes, as far as sales, and then, but you'll also make mistakes, and then they'll end up working out too.
I think this one will work. I definitely think in a month or two, that 30,000 will be a lot more. I think he'll be worth at least 5, maybe 6,000. I think it's going to go up, just because how rare those MGLEs are going to be. They're changing the tiers, so everything moves up. So it's really like having a rare, or not a rare, a legendary, I think it is, because those are to $4.99 now for future drops, I think.
Well, so. Wade, you can speak on this. So Wade is our OG, and I came in January, first week of January. And so now people consider me an OG. And a month and a half from now, Shake, you'll be an OG. That's just kind of how it progresses. But when I first
does that make me a triple OG?
Definitely.
It's just but wait, you remember when when base 2 came out, and they went to 12,000, and then they put the plus, and we were just like all those base set 2 moments were just ridiculously cheap. I bought 10 Zion for $25 because everyone was so worried that there was going to be printed so much more. 12,000 was too much. But you said before when you guys went to like 7,500 that you guys were worried about dilution.
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, I don't worry about these sort of things. So, so going back in the early beta, I used to fight off these. Can I swear in this podcast or not?
Absolute fucking loop.
Yeah. I used to fight off these motherfuckers in the early beta. They used to come and go, oh, who wants 4,000 of Vince Carter? And that back then was trading a couple of bucks. So I sort of got it, but I didn't get it. I'm like, man, just look forward 3 months, 6 months, a year. As you know, we've talked about this a million times. So no different to here. I can't wait for these 25,000 mint to be released because you'll be able to scoop up so much stuff for nothing and just give it, like, again, if you believe in this, if you believe in the platform, and if ESPN's tweeting about it, you could see, for me, that was a big deal, actually. Rachel Nichols putting out that, was it starting lineup or the lineup for the All-Star game?
Rising
that was, that was massive. So that's a start of, in my books, that relationship sort of out in the open between the NBA, ESPN, us, and so forth. So, man, it's all there. The proof is there. We just got to let time do its thing. So just pick up all these cheap liquid players like LeBron, Zion, and so forth. It's going to pay off, man. You've seen it pay off. Like I fucked up the last one. I said on my channel, I'm going to pick up all the LeBrons to 7,500 to 15,000. I had a price target. Then I just ended up talking shit on Twitter and just like bought five of each, and I was just like, man, I could have bought like 100 grand worth of all that, and it was just like, yeah, fuck, it's more fun talking to Jason in Discord, and like that came at a cost, buddy.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's interesting, Shake. You are kind of, you're pretty well plugged into the NBA world. With 2K and kind of just talk about like how you kind of heard about it. Like you had mentioned about Twitter and everything, but is it kind of surprising that you maybe didn't find out about it like a month or two ago? Like,
it is incredibly disappointing that I didn't find about it this early. I don't know how. Like, that's one of the things that blows my mind, because like I can so like when you're on the site, you can watch like a couple pack openings from guys, and you can see those are sponsored videos. Like it shows like I know one of the guys was like Enviers. He does like NBA videos, and a lot of other guys who they clearly reached out to and, gave him packs and had him promote the site. And I think it was October or November. So I saw those videos. I'm like, how did I not see that video? How did I not see any of these videos? These didn't pop up in my YouTube recommendations. I didn't see these on Twitter again or nothing. No one told me about this for months. I saw about it in January, and I waited a month, and that's on me. And that probably cost me a lot of money because I would have jumped in head first. But I don't know how I missed it. I really don't. Like, it just didn't reach even my level, which is crazy because I follow 4,000 people on Twitter. So not one tweeted about this before January 1st. I saw some on January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The reason I didn't jump on is just I heard the site was really buggy, and it still is somewhat buggy at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's on me. I should have jumped in earlier because I love this stuff, man. I would have bought so many moments for a couple dollars. I would have had all my Celtics players. I would have bought Jason Tatum. I think his holo last month was like $500, and now it's like 40 grand. I definitely would have bought that holo. I 100% would have bought that because it's such a cool clip as he breaks Paul George's ankles and hits that buzzer beating three. That was an awesome clip. So yeah, I don't know how it missed me. I really don't, because again, I follow a lot of NBA guys. I don't follow any crypto guys, I guess. That's how it missed me. So yeah, I should have diversified my following, I guess.
Well, we've got the big man Linux getting ready to log in. He's a little late starting the day. Just for our viewers to get a grasp of what we're pulling off today, I live in Los Angeles. Linux is in Chicago. Shake is
East Coast.
East Coast. And Wade's is in Australia. So coordinating 4 different time zones literally across the globe. And
it's quite tough.
Yeah, it looks like Linux is getting probably his Dr. Seuss screen up. Yeah, it's interesting, right, Shake? Like, Linux is the one that kind of introduced me, but Linux has really been more involved with crypto for a lot longer, for years, whether or not it's like invested, but just kind of being a part of the space. And I give him the credit, but Jack Settleman, Snapback, is it Snapchat Snapback Sports or something like that, who's got like these massive Instagram pages. He posted that on his 4 million NBA Instagram page that on his 4 million Instagram page, he posted like, who's heard of TopShot? And like 75% didn't even know what he was talking about,
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's funny, like, do you feel like you're getting to the party and the music's just getting started, or do you feel like it's that you showed up late? Because it's interesting, I totally felt like when I first got in, I was like, man, I'm too late, and this was in early January.
I think if I didn't get that rare pack, I would totally feel like I showed up way too late and I'd be really bummed. But that pack kind of saved me, and at least it got me in the ground. So for $100, I was able to like jumpstart an account, and now it's at like around 3,000. So that's pretty good. I mean, I have my like $100 in Dapper balance still, so that's nice. I'm playing with house money. So I do feel like, yeah, I showed up a little late, but I think I just barely got in time, like making my account, taking the 3-4 days that it took to like even get Dapper in there. If I had waited until Friday, Saturday, they shut signups down and you weren't able to sign up for at least a few more days. So I don't know. I might not even be signed up if I waited a couple more days. Like, it's been a pain. It seems like they keep disabling signups every other day. It seems like, so.
Yeah, they do that to try and stabilize the website and just try and take a load off everything they can.
Linux, are you with us right now?
Can you hear me? Testing.
Oh, we can hear you, my man.
Yep, sounds
wonderful.
Hi, bro.
We got Wade's and Shake4ndBake, the YouTuber extraordinaire for NBA 2K. What's your experience with NBA 2K, Linux?
Sorry.
You can go. I don't know if he was talking to me or you.
Yeah. Linux is the last time I played a basketball game on a console was NBA Jams. I got one of those like NBA Switch or Nintendo Switches, so I stick to Dr. Mario now. But Linux has got the console, and I'm sure has played 2K.
I played a ton in 2K. Last time, it's been a while though. I played on the Xbox, and I made it up to the Hall of Fame League, so I think I'm pretty decent in 2K. So I would love to play your YouTube guy one-on-one and see what happened. It would be pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, we'll have to run it. I've been doing 2K for a long time, so there's like a few modes with my team. I specifically kind of stay with the my team mode. I'm kind of one of like I guess I'm a triple OG, as Wades would say. With that, like, I was one of the first few people who kind of posted even YouTube videos on that, and like it was just like a mode where you just opened up packs and like played. That was literally it at first. And now it's like so much crazier, and it is I think $1 billion industry for them, for NBA 2K. They make so much money. It's basically the moneymaker of their game, honestly. I know they make a lot off the VC transactions and everything, and people spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a day sometimes. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I got in the forefront of that. And again, it's like TopShot. You open up packs, you build a lineup, and you play with fantasy cards. So I know there's a mobile game coming to TopShot. I think you're going to be able to do that as well in some kind of way. Not really sure, but that'll be interesting.
Am I right in saying that, like, with these packs for the 2K, so there's like this utility, but that utility only lasts for that particular version of the game?
100% correct. And that is one of the silly things about it. It's every year, it's a cycle basically. So they like kind of start the power creep where they drop like these lower overall cards that aren't that great. And then by the end of the year, everything's 99 everything. And it's like 2 months and then boom, the next game starts and you just reset the cycle. And it's like that every year. And it's just, it just never ends. So yeah, every year it resets pretty much. They shut the servers down after 2 years, I think, too.
Wait, do you know any more about like the hardcore? Like, I mean, obviously a timeline is, just like yesterday with the pack drop, and they were like, we postponed it. We'll give you a heads up when, like TopShot sometimes can be a little vague in their timeline, but to what like the big concept with hardcore is supposed to be that like all these moments retain utility, unlike 2K. Can you speak on that?
Yeah. So the last we heard about this was quite a few months ago. There were presentation slides that the guys did, going back probably to April, even probably earlier than that. So it is a mobile game, which will use the moments to power the players to a certain degree. So I don't know how, but to answer your question, there will be utility. It'll be retained as far as I know at this stage. So, we talked about this, and that's how I came into this space. I used to play a bit of Apex, and same thing. You get all these skins that have become worthless after a little while. You can't carry it over to the next season or whatever it is. In Apex, you can, but more so to the point of like FIFA and 2K, you just got to keep grinding, or you got to just keep on buying. So with NBA, with TopShot, you will have that utility, which as far as I know, it will be retained. It makes sense. It's an NFT, so that's the whole point of it.
Shake, you've got your YouTube has like 300,000 plus subscribers, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're like 375.
Yeah. Linux, right before you got on, we were talking to Shake about how it is possible that a 2K YouTuber with 300,000 or almost 400,000 subs did not find out about TopShot until like a week or two ago. So the question is, because you're my Eskimo into TopShot. So what was it that like was first kind of triggered you where you found it? Because we're trying to get back to like patient zero on like, how are so many NBA fans not able to, not aware of this?
Well, I think at its essence, and especially in the beginning, NBA TopShot was kind of a entrance for crypto people. So if you weren't a crypto person, it's going to be hard for you to find out about it. Me personally, there's several websites that I monitor, and what first caught my attention was, I think there was a $25,000 sale of a card. And at that point, I'm like, hold on a second, what is this? Let me check it out. So I would say I first heard rumblings maybe the end of December, early January was when it started to come on my radar screen. And as you know, it's like there's kind of a process, right? It's what is this? I don't quite understand. Let me buy a pack. You buy a pack, you open it. I kind of like that. Let me buy another pack. And the next thing you know, you have the TopShot-itis, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Shake, we, obviously Wade's came in at a different time where legendary packs were probably sitting there just waiting to be bought. And so there was when Linux and I was first in it, there was packs just available that you could buy. And then we had this one night, I don't know what spawned it, but it's like, I'm going to buy, I think it was actually after the Deck the Hoops, because that kind of got us excited after we got Deck the Hoops. And then it was like a Saturday night or something. And it's like, well, I'm going to buy like 3 packs. And then, so Linux bought them, and we're on the phone, and he opens up. I said, well, I'm going to do it. So I bought 3. And then he's like, well, I'm going to buy 5. And so this is actually what built our collection, just us being kind of bored and bullshitting with each other on the phone. And I think we probably bought like 20 or 30 packs each that night of base 2. And, again, like they were I don't want to say they were worthless, but, we did not know what was in. I probably got like 4 or 5 KDs, the 7500s out of that, and it was like KD was like $20, So now the fact that like when you kind of come to this platform and the packs are so difficult, like, and Wade, I want to hear what your thoughts are on like you're dealing with a lot of these new users. How important is it? like for what they were doing with this reserve pack. Like,
yeah.
So maybe Wade, if you can kind of tell us like what do you think, like how advantageous is that? And then Shake, if you can just kind of step on that afterwards and just say like how important that is for you to get a pack, as far as that context. Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think it's very important because you guys see the value of these packs is absolutely tremendous. You know, you can get a $9 pack ends up being $100 worth of value. A $100 pack like Shake experienced is
a couple thousand, maybe more.
So that gives you the equity, which is very important. And I think, you know, I don't know this for a fact, but you mentioned the Decked Hoops series.
Yeah.
So that was the one that you sort of after that, it got really tough to get anything. So we all got a couple of packs. I got 2 packs, and I was very lucky with that one as well. I landed a Luka and something else, Anthony Davis. But the team, you guys remember that drop that had every superstar in it, so you really couldn't lose money on it unless you had a couple of the Heat guys in that one. And I think that was done by design, just to give everyone that could get into that quite a bit of equity, which obviously meant, you know, you had a bit of speed dapper if you sold and just sort of found your way into that game a little bit easier than, any other means, I suppose. So look, it is absolutely imperative that people do get a pack or two just to get them going, to get that experience, but also to build that equity as quickly as possible. So they feel like they're ahead, which is all, you know, sort of bias psychology, consumer psychology 101. Just before that, before I end, we were talking about something else before, which I completely forgot about now. What you guys talked about before, going back into beta and packs being available and all that. I mean, there was plenty of packs available back in beta. I remember I started a new job on early January, and I thought to myself, man, this is going to, you know, there was still dollar moments you could buy in the market. So I thought this is going to blow up like there's no tomorrow. But I couldn't buy anything myself because I was at work. So I actually ended up just paying someone to buy as many as they could. And I paid them basically, I gave them every 5th moment that they bought for free. So they're the sort of things you just got to think outside the box. If you can't do it, if you've got a little bit of speed change, stuff like that. But you guys are a team anyway, Jason and Linux, so you're already ahead of it.
Yeah. Honestly, like getting like everyone a pack is massive, because when you look at the market with nothing in your account, it's daunting. Like you see a 17 or like 20 or $30 Troy Brown Jr. and you're like, wow, it's kind of pricey. Everybody's getting these packs for $9 that come with 3 moments, and I'm going to buy one for triple the price of that. It doesn't sound like a good idea. I mean, it's not a good idea. That's why, you know, those have kind of come down. I think that Troy Brown is now worth like $15, and that could come down even more. It depends. It is Series 2, but it's really daunting. So to get a pack to everyone is crazy, especially just how many people have signed up. Again, there were so many issues with people making accounts and then getting dapper. So once you actually just get all that solved, it's crazy, because that'll really, again, if you hit something big, I'm not really too sure what's in those packs. I know there's some great younger players. I know there's some KD variants and LeBron. So if you hit one of those, I mean, you're booming already. You got a nice balance. You can buy more moments. Like, it really does kickstart it, and it gets you into it. Like before that, I was just kind of looking at the market, and I was like, I'd love a pack. I keep missing these queues. I keep getting, 80,000 back, and it's frustrating. I don't think I'm going to ever get a pack. And then when you get one, it's just like, whoa, this is pretty awesome. Like, oh man, I can't believe that packs weren't even selling. Like, to me, again, it's crazy that I missed this, because again, I literally open packs on my YouTube channel. That's what I do. So to like miss an NBA pack thing, like for me for months, like, man, I can't believe it. I should have been on this in January. I should have. That's the one thing that I'm going to kick myself for. I should have just said, so what? There's websites crashing sometimes, packs drop. That's what I followed a few hobby guys too, because I'm in the IRL card game. I did a bunch of stuff with Panini back in the day where they'd send me some boxes. So I still have hundreds in cards. Some are worth like a couple $100 that I don't even know, just because I have so many. But so I followed a couple card guys, and that's how I had heard about this in January and didn't jump on it. And that hurts a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. But
you can't think.
I think there's this weird euphoria. Like anybody that's been new, that comes on, like there's a lot of us that or a lot of them are interested in the marketplace. Especially now, it is kind of hard to get excited about picking up. You want to get involved in the game, and buying a $15-$20 Ish Smith or Daniel Tice is not exactly lighting the world on fire.
Yeah.
But you get a pack, and you open that pack like Linux. What do you think? Like the psychology of opening the pack, the music, the reveal? Because when we would do our little pack, when we were doing our pack openings, or if we've ever kind of gone in on stuff together, I will sit there and say, all right, this is what I got. Boom, 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 boom. And Linux is like, first card, Phoenix Suns, Evan, but he doesn't do the broadcast voice, but like he draws it out, like makes like this little show of it. It's like, it's just us, man. But there's that fun element. Like, the psychology of it, Linux, do you think that's real?
I think they do a great job with the music. It seems like, oh my goodness, this is worth something. I like this. This is exciting. The pack comes up, it does a little circly thing, it moves around, right? You click on it, and then whoosh, that whooshing noise, and all of a sudden, who is it? What is it? You see the team, and then you see them, and like, oh my gosh, I love this whole thing. So I think they do a great job of the presentation, and you can tell there was a lot of thought put into that. One thing that I think about in regards to new owners is I think it's very advantageous to maybe look into the fractional ownership or forming a team, as Wade said previously. I know there's a lot of upcoming challenges coming with the All-Star break. So I think if you had 3 or 4 buddies and you guys all had a pack and you're looking to complete a challenge, hey, I've got, these 3, you've got these 4, I've got these 6, and kind of combining forces to get that challenge card. I think that's something that should definitely be looked at for all new users.
So now, can you explain that to me? Because I'm still a little new, and I know the challenges you can, I can gift you cards and you can complete the challenge, but then and there's like a countdown timer. So like, how long do the cards have to be on your account before you can then re-gift those and, he can complete the AD for the Cool Cats? Like, how does that really work? Because I'm still pretty new.
So Jason and I, we're going to complete the Metallic Gold Challenge too. And the way that it works is, I believe right now there's, 14 or 15 days. And you have 14 or 15 days to acquire the allotted moments, which I believe is 9. So let's say we had, there's 9 total moments to acquire, and you have to have them by the time that clock hits 0. So once the timer ends, there's a snapshot taken of your account. And so long as you have all the cards required for that particular challenge, you will win whatever the challenge reward is. And for this particular case, the challenge reward is Terry Rozier for the Metallic Gold.
Okay. I'm trying to think. So like, you just have to acquire them, or you have to have them in? Because I'm not sure how people are like, if you're working as a team, so like the timer expires, your buddy has like your cards for this, but then how do you get how do you work as a team on this?
They have to be consolidated into one account. So
okay.
So I would give my moments
Gotcha.
to Jason. Jason would get the snapshot, and then after that, we'd kind of figure out what kind of ownership we have in that particular card.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense.
Wade, you've talked about like even renting cards for people. Do you think that's a viable option now? Because it seems like it was definitely doable. Like when you and I first met, like in a smaller community. I don't know that. Like I don't know that I would kind of trust that move.
So the current Holo Challenge, which is the James Harden reward, I've actually rented out majority of those moments. Now, obviously, I have a little bit of a smaller inner circle, I suppose. It's all the guys from back in the beta and so forth. Look, it's still doable. Like we've got a half decent Discord that we're all part of, so you could utilize that for that purpose. And in some small way, that's why I sort of try to build that out as well, so we can help each other out. The trust is the main thing, because like I've rented out Steph Curry, instead of paying $45,000 at the time for it, I paid $6,000 to rent that out. So that'll stay in my account, Shake, till the challenge reward gets sent to my account, just to make sure.
And then you can give it back to the original owner.
And I give back to the original owner, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's how it works. So I've literally rented out majority of it, other than maybe 2. So my buy-in for this, instead of being 100K or 80, whatever it is, it's probably about 20. But it takes work. It takes, you've got to know people. You've got to, and that's just the grind of the game.
You got to trust him too. I mean, you got a $45,000, Steph Curry moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure any person that isn't trustworthy, they might just say, okay, I'm going to sell this now and you're screwed. Like there's nothing you can actually do there besides like tell people like, hey, don't do this with this guy. Like, I mean, that's a big risk.
Yeah, it is. Officially, we discourage it. So from the Dapper end, and I think I've seen some accounts, and we're talking like top 10 valued accounts getting flagged and not banned but flagged and frozen for like 5 days because they're buying big moments and moving to a different account, so like another player's account. So that could, I don't know what that's for, but so I don't know what the official stance is. I think we're obviously they are against some of these movements, but at the end of the day, players will do what they're going to do. So we've just got to come to a compromise. There is no official way to rent these moments out. And also because it does cost Dapper, I suppose, funds, the marketplace fee. So that's something they can work on. I've recommended that, but I don't think that'll come to fruition. Some sort of a rental mechanism.
How do you feel about the challenges overall, especially going forward? Like the value in them, like, are you doing like the Hollow Challenge? Just seems a bit like insane and for like we're trying to do the metallic gold, and of course like the Zion, Anthony Edwards, and Steph hit, and we're like, oh, please do not be the challenge anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, look, you got to work out the reward. What the value is, what you're buying, when you're buying. I've found that. If you can prepare for it, so if you can have a bit of Dapper quite early on, so when it gets announced, or even before that, if you can buy up the moments or arrange to rent them out, that's you're going to get that that massive return more upfront than trying to buy it through the period, especially late in the shot clock. So you just sort of the profit evaporates the further along you go. Closer to that deadline. So, and then after that, it just drops like probably anywhere between 10 and 20%.
Yeah, it plummeted. I mean, I sold my Michael Porter Jr., I think for, again, about $100, and it's definitely not going for that now. I think it was maybe 40 or 50. And I mean, the Will Barton too, that everybody was pricing out and was like $500. That thing's in the toilet now. It's super cheap.
Yep.
There was something about Will Barton where it could be used in the common challenge. Like that
would be crazy.
They're gonna do a common challenge and talk about punishing all those people that that just sold that just liquidated their $300 Will Bartons. I haven't. Do you know anything about the common challenge, Wade? Have you heard about it?
No. I've seen probably the same thing as you in the Discord and around the traps. So no, that's as far as I know.
Yeah. So what do you feel about the this new Seeing Stars pack drop that we're supposed to be having today, tonight, tomorrow? Like this new kind of rollout tier that seemingly is going to guarantee everybody a moment, and also like this kind of special Seeing Star moment. I found it interesting. Like I'm assuming they'll do something down the road for All Stars. But like these moments are not even like, it's kind of like they're supposed to be like all-star, but they're just from regular season moments. Like what's our overall thoughts on this?
Who's going first? Lennox?
I mean, I can go first since I probably know the least about it. I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, that Jason Tatum assist where he like throws it behind the back is just crazy. Like that's a cool moment. It could be really rare. It could not. Like it depends because there is 183,000 packs available to buy and then 20,000 for promos and stuff like that. I am a little skeptical that everyone's going to get a pack though, because again, I know I've seen the head of Dapper, Katie Marketing. So she tweeted out earlier in the week that there was 500,000 accounts on the site currently. I don't know if it doesn't seem like there is though, because even in that drop, the last pack drop was last week. Again, the one I got in. We also did have the pre-order too, but it seemed like there was only about 200,000 people in that queue on Saturday for the pre-order pack. So I don't know where the other accounts came from. I mean, I know they had a lot of signups this past like week when they did open them up, but 500. If there's 500,000 people actually going for these packs, I'm a little worried because then it goes from everybody gets a pack to about a third, maybe, So I'm hoping that we actually do get these packs, and that maybe there's not 500,000 actual people yet.
Yeah, that would be my guess. I don't think there's 500,000 actual people, but there's definitely 500,000 accounts. If you get where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting for me. I'm really curious to see with the new pack drop, how it's going to influence prices for everything else. I just out of the bucket, like my guess would be we may continue to see downward selling pressure on a lot of existing things so people can get the shiny new toy. But I'm really curious. If I'm correct, isn't the challenge reward card for these two, one is Zion and one is somebody else? And you guys can correct me on that. But overall, I'm really curious to see myself what happens with the existing pricing on stuff we have, because it's my thought that we may see, again, downward pricing pressure on existing cards.
I think it's KD and LeBron. I think that's what I think. Is it?
Yeah, the captains, I believe. Yeah, there's a Zion moment in the pack today. So.
How many releases? I know there's Cool Cats coming out. I know there's an All-Star thing coming out. Isn't there another challenge for like the up-and-comers though?
The Rising Stars. Rising Stars. That's going to be on the 7th, I think.
Yeah, so there's 3 separate pack releases coming out.
There's a lot. They're cramming it in, especially with like the delay.
Well, and then they dropped that bomb on us that they're going to do run it back with Shaq, and now they've pushed that back, which was what we wanted. Which I think would actually be smart of them to wait till this summer when the playoffs are over, to maintain some kind of off-season buzz like that. That's how do it's such a weird time. Wade's like where we were in this bubble, and there's never been like a full traditional season. How do you feel like the off-season will play into it? Like, the NBA has done a great job where I almost I'm more excited for NBA free agency season than like even regular season, so there is this like year-round buzz around it. But do you think that there's like this kind of drop off like in the playoffs?
After the playoffs or in the playoffs?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After. Look, in the traditional cardboard, there is, like I mentioned to you guys, I had a few cards on Star Stock, which is sort of the closest digital trading platform you can get, in my opinion. And you could see clearly the cards just drop off in value. You could pick up really cheap rookies and all that sort of stuff. So I think, I don't know if it's similar going to happen here, but I feel like the marketing that it might step up then, and there might be some cool initiatives happening and all that sort of stuff, just to be able to keep us engaged on the platform and doing various things. And I think maybe, I don't know the timeline on the game, the hardcore game, but that might roll around about that time as well. So, there's probably a lot of different things to keep us busy within this ecosystem as well. So I'm not too worried about that in this in the TopShot environment.
I would definitely say the throwback moments is what can keep the offseason afloat, especially with free agency. Like if guys trade teams or go different places, they can take an older moment from his old team and kind of put that in a pack, like a free agency movers pack. Like that's how kind of 2K does it, because obviously they have their mode where they drop their packs. They do like seasonal moments, kind of just like we have on actual here. They have like cards that for certain like nights and stuff. So once the off season comes, they kind of change their approach and it slows down as they prepare for the next game. So I think the off season, again, like you said, there will be some sort of little dip right after it ends, because people are kind of like, gearing down from the season. But then with the NBA, it picks up really quickly with, summer league. We don't know if that'll be happening this year, but it picks up pretty quickly. It's a little different. I think there won't be too much of a lull, but yeah, that's definitely the thing I think they keep it alive with, is run it back and moments of like historic, because the possibilities are endless there. They can pull a rabbit out of a hat with any season at any moment. There's so many.
Let me pose this to you guys, because obviously, like talking about post playoffs in TopShot world, that's like being so that's like 10 years from now. this weekend with the All-Star game, it's going to be interesting to me. You know, like I've always loved All-Star weekend, and it's definitely in this weird condensed version. I'm just going to put this hypothetical out there, and you guys give me a potential multiplier it does to our evaluations. Zion Williamson does some ridiculous dunk, maybe like even between the legs in the game, and everybody is sitting there like just screaming like, that's a top shot moment. That's a top shot moment. And then there's like let's say a sideline reporter, you know, whoever, and it's like, what is all this top shot stuff? And then she explains it like during like the actual NBA All-Star game. What kind of spike, if any, does that produce? We could, Lennox, we'll start with you.
I think it will definitely spike in regards to that actual card being released at a later date. And in regards to Top Shop, I think we're naturally going to see a bump given the influx of people in. You know, do I think it's the wave that we saw in January or the latest wave? I'm not sure. So, I mean, conservatively, I mean, could we see a 20 or 30 or 40% pop? Sure. I don't know if I'm the 5X, 6X some people are, but definitely something moderate in my opinion.
20 or 30X. That's what I've got down
for. That's what I heard too.
Wait, how about you?
Look, I mirror what Lennox just said. I do envision the pop if that sort of scenario was to play out. Look, if it was a bit more hypey, if there was an actual game, you know, fans and all that sort of stuff, like in the old world, maybe a little bit more, because I just feel like the viewership has dropped off. That's just a gut feel. I don't have any stats to back it up, but you know, there would be a little bit of a pop, definitely, most definitely for the moment itself. But yeah, I don't think it'd be massive. I don't think it'd be X factors, unless there was, you know, 2 times, 3 times the current membership levels on platform, or yeah. So
that's what I think holds it back, is like, I don't just see the membership jumping up instantly. Like, I don't see so many people signing up at one time. I mean, because even I don't know if they can handle the traffic yet. Like, I mean, if something like that were to happen and everybody goes to sign up and then they can't, that's a huge problem. Like, they have to be able to take on all this new traffic, and they have to be able to dump in, you know, 500,000 signups like at once. And I don't know if they can handle that. Like, they've had to disable it multiple times. And if they do that because of the high traffic, it wouldn't be a great look. So I'm guessing I don't see like a huge jump this weekend. I still think it will start to jump up, and maybe we could see one of those big jumps by the time playoffs is here, maybe in relation to like now. So I don't think there's going to be like a massive jump, but you could definitely see someone going off who maybe isn't as valued. Like, maybe it's a Devin Booker and he wins maybe wins All-Star game MVP or something. And right now his card's like $80-$90. I could definitely see him jumping up to like maybe 150, 200, maybe even a little bit more. It depends, like, because that's a guy who's pretty underrated. So it all depends on, I guess, what kind of happens and how well All-Star Sundays run, because it's so different this year. I mean, the dunk contest is literally just 3 guys, I think, at halftime or right before the game. Like, it's nothing compared to what it used to be. So it's definitely a different year, and I'm not expecting a huge bump. I'm really not.
What's kind of interesting, right? Because like Tyler Hero had this amazing bubble run, and I feel like his moments have always been inflated, even though he's like kind of like this. He's definitely not a face of Top Shot, but like there's a history there. And I'm curious, Wade's like, when Luka hit that 3 in the bubble, that really just kind of signified as a player, like we all knew he was like an MVP caliber, but it's like he's arrived, like he is like next up, if you will. Did that moment like really affect like his market of playing? Because I feel like you can drop 50 points if you're Booker, and it's not going to really, there might be this like mini inflection point where people think that it's going to go up, but I feel like if Booker were to win the MVP, it would be like a slight uptick for like a day, but not anything withstanding.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. Again, I don't see like a super long-term like jump at just once, but I could see like maybe, again, it goes up and then it could dip back down. It all depends on like how well they promote it this weekend and what their plans are, which I don't know what those are.
Yeah. What's the history there? Like,
yeah. So I remember that like yesterday, man, because that's, watching that game, watching him run through the tunnel and all that. So I just remember the guys in the beta complaining about how poor the image, the video was, because it didn't capture the celebration. So that's the stuff we're talking about, because again, you got to imagine what we're trying to do. We're trying to build out a product. So that's the feedback we were giving. At that time, there wasn't a lot of a correlation between the play and, the value of the moment. So because there's just so much stuff available. So that moment, could have picked up probably between $15 and $30, roughly, from memory. And there was plenty of it on the market, just because there was just so much supply and so few, players to pick it up. And most of us spent quite a lot of money buying the packs and so forth. So it only sort of this relationship between the play quality itself and the moment only sort of became probably more of a thing later in the year, probably even like the last couple of months maybe. But so look, I mean, that is one of the best moments in the entire game. So my personal opinion. I picked up a few of them, but that I even picked up my ones quite late too. So
I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. I've been using a VPN, and I've been using an Australian IP, and I keep getting all these commercials for Hungry Jacks. Is that a thing in Australia, Hungry Jacks?
Yeah, that's Burger King. That's like your version of Burger. I believe Burger King is that's your equivalent.
So then there's the McDonald's commercial, and it's called Maccers.
No, it's McDonald's. Just Macca's is just a short version, slang, or not slang, but short version.
I thought it was. Do you remember the movie Coming to America, where what is the McDowell's or
McDougal's, right?
Yeah. And I was like, God, Australia ripped off McDonald's. Like, how'd they get away with that with a Mac?
That's funny.
No, that's McDonald's.
So my question for the panel is what is your go-to drive-through fast food? Like if you got to pick your favorite one, which one?
I'll go first, because this is quite interesting. So we only started getting Taco Bell here maybe a couple of years back now. So there's literally like none around, maybe two within 200-kilometer radius, 2 or 3 maybe now. So that's been my favorite for the last little bit, just because it's new and it's good food. Good enough anyway.
Do they have Mexican restaurants in Australia? I mean,
yes, Jason, we have Mexican restaurants.
I say that because my hometown, the only Mexican restaurant for years growing up was Taco Bell. My mom would be like, "Hey, who wants Mexican tonight?" And it's Taco Bell.
These damn Americans! Come on, Jason, you're killing me.
God damn.
What's yours, Lennox?
That's a very regional question. It depends on where I am. So I have like 4 different answers. So I'll keep it short and sweet. If I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, the best restaurant in the world, the best breakfast is Bojangles. Bojangles is amazing.
That's true.
I love me some Bojangles. For lunch in North Carolina, I love Shomars. I love have you heard Shomars before? Shomars is amazing. It's like this popcorn shrimp and this fish. It's outstanding. If I'm in Chicago, give me what is Chicago? I can't think of it. If I'm in Chicago, give me
that's where
Portillo's.
You're at. If you're
Portillo's. I love Portillo's. It's the greatest fast food restaurant in America. Okay, those are my 3. I'm out.
Where are you at, Shake?
Oh man, I'm definitely a McDonald's guy. I mean, those fries, like when done right, man, they are unbeatable. I don't know, just something about it. Like the consistency is always good. Like I don't know, the soda, like I don't really drink alcohol, but I do enjoy soda as like my cheat, and like, man, it's so good. Oh my goodness. The soda, like they put drugs in that soda or something, like something's in there.
The coolest thing about McDonald's, and I've traveled, like I got a lot of passports in my book, and I love to go to McDonald's in other countries, and like it seems like so stupid to, like, why would you go to McDonald's in Peru? But every McDonald's has like this unique menu. Like my buddy was in the Philippines and he sends me a picture and he's eating spaghetti from McDonald's.
That's crazy.
Or like fried chicken in like Colombia, but my number one fast food is Chick-fil-A. And then there's this chicken place in Colombia. Is somebody?
I don't know what that is.
So there's a Frisbee's. It's like a Colombian chicken place, and that's the best. So, I think that was Linux, but yeah, I bring that up just because it's 6 a.m. here in Los Angeles, and I'm usually going to bed around this time. But I stayed up early for you guys. So it's like I've kind of got to figure out what the breakfast move is. I believe it is the McGriddle choice.
It's hard to beat.
Like this geniuses ever at McDonald's. Like McDonald's is definitely where you eat that and you feel instant regret like afterwards, but like the first couple bites are just like, man.
Oh my goodness. That is a very good description of it. Like you're like, oh wow, this is so good. And then like right after you're like, oh wow, what did I do?
Yeah. 100%.
It's like a night of boozing and you go home with somebody, like, oh, what a great idea gone wrong,
Well, you got to stay up for the pack, don't you? Unless you have someone going for it for you.
Man, the TopShot life is a series of naps, my friend.
That's a good point. Still got a few hours before it.
Yeah. I'm good for the rest of the day, and so wait, I buried the lead here. You've got you finally are showing your face to our viewers with your avatar. You want to tell us? I've got the tiger and the dinosaur. Linux is Dr. Seuss man, and now you've got a special needs cat.
Yeah. So look, when we started out in beta, you could have had a crypto kitty, or you could have had just a design, whatever background. So that's probably one of the rarer backgrounds, I suppose, or avatars in the game. Because once you change it, you can't change it back to the crypto kitty. So you can't, like, if I was to change this to something else, I'm done. So I'm going to keep this one for a while. I've seen only a couple around. Some of the mods have these, but yeah, they're, I suppose, unique. That's the background to that.
That's good stuff. So what do you, Jake, I want to kind of bring it back a little full circle to you as far as like YouTube and what you're doing. Is there like what kind of journey is that just for like the the viewer that's watching that like has aspirations of kind of playing video games? Like I think it's kind of safe to say like there is this idea for all of us, where like it's TopShot could, not that it could be your career per se, but there's definitely some people that are making life-changing money and will definitely be quitting their day jobs and kind of pursuing TopShot or just NFTs in general, like kind of in a full-time, almost day trading type of space. Where what kind of spawned the whole YouTube thing, and what was that transition where this is what you became doing full time?
So it's interesting that you say that actually too, because like I just watched, like there's a guy who I found like when I first started getting into TopShot before I had my pack. I was watching this guy on Twitch. I just typed in TopShot and he was the first one that came up. And he was just talking about the market and stuff. And he actually just quit his job on Sunday to do it full time. And I think his account valuation was around $1 million. So he's,
that was Steve Schul, I think.
Yes, yeah. Definitely a popular guy in the scene, and he's probably going to keep on rising and rising as he, gets more integrated with the community and stuff. So he's awesome. I've liked watching his stuff. He just talks about the market and does kind of fun stuff with it. But I just thought that was so funny how you said guys are going to do that. And I just saw someone do it literally days ago. But I jumped into YouTube like a long time ago. It's kind of like different because I started in like 2000. I think maybe 2012, 2013. And for like the first year or two, I had no clue what I was doing, didn't know how to edit, didn't know how to do this, didn't know how to do that. I didn't even like tell like my parents about it. I was living at home. I was going to college. I was working at nights and I was trying to do YouTube. So I was juggling way too much on my plate. I wasn't sleeping some days. It was awful. I was falling asleep in my car sometimes, and that is incredibly dangerous. I don't recommend it. So that was kind of rough. But then at some point, you know, I finally got YouTube down. I was like, oh, I like this 2K stuff. This is what I should do my YouTube on. And it got some traction. So I was like, all right, let's stick with this. You know, that's kind of the way to do something. If you find something you like and you can, you know, help other people get into it or just make good content around that, whether it's TopShot, whether it's anything, just talking about NBA and basketball is huge on YouTube. So I kind of jumped in head first. Like I got a nice check for like $2,000 and I was like, I want to do this full time. My parents were behind it. And yeah, I dropped out of college. I quit my job that I was working at nights, which was lovely because, again, that was awful. I was working at UPS and it was like manual labor. It was exhausting. So I just jumped in head first. And eventually now we're like 8 years past that point and I own a house. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy. Like it's definitely something that like you have to commit to. And not everybody can do that. That's why like it's hard to become like a YouTuber or like a influencer. Like you have to jump in head first sometimes. And for every success story, there's probably 99 other failure stories, which is sad to think about, but like it's not easy. There are so many guys that try and like do this stuff and it just probably doesn't work out. So it's cool. And I want to continue to like make TopShot videos because I think this is something that could be massive. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm upset I haven't been doing this for the past few months. Like I could have contributed more, I think, to TopShot reaching a lot of people that it just hasn't yet. And it might not for a couple more months. So I'm excited to do that and just make YouTube videos on it and keep getting into it. I'm excited. It's really cool.
I think that's where we're all kind of at. I mean, that's, you know, Linux and I started this in part because we talk about all the time anyway. So it's kind of like, why don't we just record ourselves having conversations? And we thought that they were kind of valuable. And then obviously the community is so great in that, you know, we befriended Wade's and, you know, we love, you know, just bullshitting with him and then just their strategy and it is very unique. I'm curious, like, you know, like when does this change? Like, I think there'll always be like, you know, you'll have your little discords and stuff, but when does it get to where, you know, like you said, there was 500,000
users, quote unquote.
Right. So like, is a million, is it over under 1 million?
I don't think it really will, honestly. Like that might be a little naive of me, but just like even in my scene, like that, like the 2K scene, like people still have this stuff and like people still have, you know, their Discords and their group chats and their Twitter DMs. And like, again, that's years and years and years after it's so mainstream now. I mean, NBA 2K is huge. Everyone, like it's massive. I mean, they have commercials during the finals games and all kinds of stuff. And one of the first PS5 games. So I don't think it's going to really, this type of stuff will end. You may see less of it as more casual people join and they just, instead of joining a Discord and, you know, learning about it, they watch one of these videos or another video or so you might see a little less of it from the new guys, but I don't think the older guys really move on unless they just get bored or they've made so much money. They just don't even care. They don't enjoy collecting, you know?
Right. But Linux, what's your over under on 1 million?
I'm conflicted, right? So part of me, I'm always plugged into the economic environment. You know, as you know, here in the U.S., we have a forthcoming stimulus package that'll probably be passed, I don't know, in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, possibly. I wonder with a downturn in the economy or continued fears of an inflation, what that does to, you know, the cryptocurrency market, let alone TopShot. I wonder, you know, about disposable income. I wonder how many people can afford to buy $500, $600, $700 moment I wonder who those people are. If I think of myself and I just found Top Shot, oh, this is amazing. I have these packs. Granted, I may want to sell my pack for money, but am I in turn going to put back in the ecosystem? So I do think there's a balance that has to be figured out, and I wonder how that is going to be figured out. But overall, I do see growth. I just don't know if I'm as bullish as others are on this space in the near and the medium term.
Are you bullish, Wades? Are you going over 1 million?
Yeah, easy.
Easy. Like, so what would be like what would the number?
Time frame? I mean, what was the question? How many? When do we hit a million, or
not? Like, what does the number kind of get to? What's the user? And I mean, not just like 1 million people that sign up and then like kind of have ghost accounts, but like,
yeah,
like kind of like let's say, where do like when and if do we get to 1 million users that at least log on once a week? And or do one transaction once a week? Like, is that
I'm just literally guessing. So
yeah,
I think it's still a couple of years away. But I've been wrong on all this sort of stuff. It's come much sooner. So I just think the barriers to entry, other than what we see already on the platform and stability and so forth, once that gets resolved, the barriers to entry for this stuff is just zero. So other than the economic side of it, and the team's got to figure that out as well, and a bunch of other stuff. But really, like when you talk about buying traditional basketball cards, that's barriers to entry. You got to find the stuff, you got to be able to afford it and open it, store it, get it. It's just ridiculous. So compared to this stuff, it's just much more enjoyable.
It's such a hassle. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I've got thousands of cards, and I sold 2 or 3, and then on my third one, it was what was it? It doesn't matter. It was a Derrick Rose Prism from the first edition, and the guy tried to claim it back. Basically,
it's
he used
awful.
One of his cards.
It's awful.
And I know exactly what he did. And I go, man, fuck this. I'm not going to do this. I don't care. There's 10, 15 grand in there, which at that time, was worth a lot for me personally, because this account wasn't worth, TopShot account wasn't worth anywhere near this. It was probably worth maybe 30, 40 grand. So that was quite meaningful. I was like, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this stuff anymore. So for those reasons, I think, and you look around in the traps, like all the guys are saying that are coming on board, this is the next best thing compared to what they used to. I'm trying to get rid of the basketball cards. Do you want to buy some? So I get that. I get up all the time about that as well. Can I trade you some of my, cardboard for your moments? I'm like, nah, I'm good, man.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, and, down the road, we're going to try and have some poker players on. This really, it feels like the Chris Moneymaker effect of poker that really kind of signified that you could be an online poker player, and that online poker was here. And as a former pro that played, I had a good blend of online and live, and I just always recall the live poker players, especially early on, just being like, these internet kids, and they don't know how to really play. And there's literally, like, you would see it on like the World Poker Tour or WSOP coverage with these older guys, like, just, complaining about the internet kids. And as we ended up seeing in poker, those internet kids took over the world, like they were able to just surpass these live poker players. And obviously some of the mainstays, are supplanted in history. But like, I feel like that's kind of where with the traditional card guys, they're kind of like, oh, but I'm holding my card. And like, this is still number one. And it feels like those early days of like internet poker, How do we think of that?
One thing I'll jump in on this. So I want to get rid of my cardboard again for moments. Like, I know so many of those guys who still out there think this is so silly. And like, there are a lot of card collecting guys that say, well, like, look, I want the tangible item. I want to have, the thing. But if you really think about it, at the end of the day, some of those things that you have, it's just cardboard at times. Like the Prism stuff, that's literally just a piece of cardboard. There's sometimes they're not autographed and they go for, hundreds of thousands, crazy amounts. I mean, sometimes the jerseys that are in the cards, they don't even like actually wear them. Some of them are game worn. Other them, it's like, here, chuck on this jersey. They put it on for like half of a second and rip it off. And like, so like you could buy an actual jersey for like a fraction of the cut, like an actual game worn jersey for a fraction of the price of some of these like cards with a tiny swatch of it. So, I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of guys are pretty reluctant to like the internet kids and like all of this, and they're going to stick with their cardboard, but man, I am the opposite. I've kind of, I still find cards cool, and I'm going to keep some of them obviously, but man, if I could dump all my cards for moments right now, I wouldn't even hesitate. I need to find some people ready that have moments that want to trade, because yeah, it's not a fun process. Like selling cards on like eBay, it can be a real pain. All it takes is for one guy to be a dick and to like just take a card and just bend it and send it back for no reason. I've had that happen to me, and it is like literal hell. It's like, wow, that $100 card that I had is now worth nothing, and you have to refund that person. You might even get the card back sometimes. So it's a bad experience. And then when you buy a moment and you trade a moment, you're like, wow, that took like 10 seconds, and now I have his moment and he has mine. Like I bought something off the marketplace. It's like, that's so easy. Why? Like the IRL card game, you got to wait for guys at Walmart. You got to sit in line. You got to fight people. Like it's crazy how hard it is to get retail cards. And then hobby packs are priced through the roof now. So that's one thing that I hope doesn't happen with TopShot. And I don't think it will, where the packs just become all of a sudden these $9 packs are $300 just for a common pack. That's ridiculous. That's one thing that I really hate about the IRL stuff. I remember I used to buy hobby boxes of hoops, which is just like the generic that comes with like 300 cards, $75 a box. Now those boxes are $300 just for the basic stuff that comes with like one autograph that's usually not that good. So yeah, it's just absurd. And like trying to find it in stores is impossible. So for the ease of how this is, I think that's going to attract a lot of people once they get past the bias of, I just want to have this tangible thing.
Well, TopShot is not without flaws. I mean, you could end up gifting a Zion Williamson out into the ether to some ghost account.
Whatever.
As it happens. If for those that don't know, Wade that was probably about three. Sit to Siberia and TopShot.
Well, let's have a look at it. I think it's still sitting there. That was like 3 a.m. I tried to listen at 4:01 or 4:10. 4:10. Yeah. Lucky it wasn't something rare.
Because you got to be careful with that stuff. You really do. Someone posted a $20,000 Kawhi for $2,000 the other day, and my buddy actually sniped it. That's why I find it so funny. Like, I don't know how. Again, I don't know how I didn't see about this stuff before, but like you didn't hear stuff like that. But yeah, he got a $20,000 Kawhi for $2,000.
Yeah. See that account. I just had a look. Sorry, it's cut you off.
Yeah, it's fine.
That Zion's gone, so it's gone out of there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got nothing left in it.
Wow. Someone woke up and was like, check like their old email and saw you got a gift. What is this?
Yeah,
they see Zion Williamson, they see the price, and they're like, whoa, okay.
Free money.
I just hope people haven't set those up for that purpose, because I saw someone did that, made the mistake today as well, where they transferred it. Exactly the same error that I made. It was just a more expensive moment. It was worth about $900. So I hope those people haven't set those usernames up to catch some of those errors as well. Because you can change your username from Wade's whatever to a number, as long as it's not taken. So
yeah. So Shake, you've got some guys that have a little bit more experience, and you're the newbie. What you can take this opportunity, like what is like the big burning question that you have right now, or are you kind of navigating pretty well?
I mean, I've been navigating pretty well. I wonder again if we're gonna get like a massive influx of users due to like promotion, and like if they're gonna have a commercial or something like that. And at that point, that's when you might want to prepare for that. So I guess maybe say these packs come out where everyone's getting a pack and there are cards for like $1, $2. That's going to happen probably. I think it's pretty realistic that cards could bottom out at a couple of dollars. because I don't think their goal is really to make like the cheapest moment $20. I don't think that's what they aimed for originally with this. So what would you do in that scenario where, say, we see over this next couple weeks some moments that bottom out around $2-3, and I mean it's pretty likely that we could see another boom like that. Like if they're all of a sudden push this hard because so many people don't know about it, what would you kind of look at in that case? Would you start picking up these like they're nothing, or would you kind of work towards a balance to pick up a Luka or LeBron? I think because it seems like there's a tough debate in between that.
Wade, do you want to start? Make us look stupid?
My strategy hasn't changed. So for me, season one, that's mostly what I've got, because when I got in, for season two, it's really just been, I talked to Jason this before we started recording. Like, I had the strategy, and it's on record, to buy probably like the top 5 to 10 liquid players, so like LeBron, Luka, and so forth. But so what I do is I watch the listings. So I try to find sort of an opportune time when they start to bottom out. I don't buy early because it's just stupid. You're going to overpay. And if I don't get it, there's going to be another one tomorrow. You know, like that's the beauty of this game. You're going to be able to make money if that's what you want to do on the next drop. You just got to figure out where your levels are and what you're comfortable with. So for me, it's just going to be, you know, I can't wait for this 25,000 count now to drop, because there's going to be a lot of liquidity. And, you know, I know some of the guys that were picking up Luka for $30-$40 in this last, might have been, not sure which one it was, 7.5 or the 15,000 count. And now he's at like, what, $400-$500. So to what Shake said before, just have Dapper ready and just sort of whale in as much as you can on some of those. But I'd steer clear of most of the players in base other than the LeBrons, because you guys know that you can get rid of the LeBron moment any point in time.
People always want to buy that.
Yeah, man. Like I did a video this time last week, and I listed it just before I started recording, just to test it out, to test the theory out. And within the show, went for about, I don't know, maybe an hour, because I tend to ramble, as you can see. And it sold 20 minutes after the thing ended. So it sold within about, you know, an hour and a half. And it wasn't priced at the bottom. It was priced at, you know, over the floor. So LeBron, you can get rid of any time. So for me, I'm focusing on a couple of the guys in the, I don't have it open here, but yeah, LeBron, Anthony Edwards, I'm pretty excited about. Some of the
What rookies. Are those two? Are those going to be at a 25,000, or is it a bit more than that? Do we know yet?
Yeah, so I'm not sure about LeBron. I'd imagine he will be, but the ones that we know about, let me just pull it up.
Because I definitely want to get some LeBron if I can get my hands on one for less than 1,500, which is, again, I've considered.
I mean, they're going to be cheap, man.
But yeah,
they're going to be cheap.
The LeBron 3-pointer, I bought a dozen for $90.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So yeah, see, if I can get some LeBrons for, again, less than $100, like I'm probably going to scoop a good amount of them, just because it's just LeBron. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, win or lose, LeBron is such a huge name. Like, man, he's going to just.
Yeah. But guys, Lennox has to dip out. It's a time zone thing, so Chicago's getting their day going, and I'm sure we'll see him in the queue. Lennox, thanks for stopping by, as always, the big man in the middle.
Thanks for the invitation. Good luck, guys.
See you, buddy.
Nice meeting you, man. Check it out.
So and we can wrap this up in a shortly. And it's interesting, like it's that strategy that I've known about, and Lennox actually came up with it, and then I think Wade's talked about it on a video. But Lennox was big on Keldon Johnson, and so he bought 100 Keldon Johnsons for $1, and I think that Keldon is now like $90 or $100. But he also believes that like next year he'll be an all-star or of that caliber, or you know, like if you have a big playoff run, like a Tyler Hero, you know. Who's barely, I don't even know if Tyler's starting this year, and Miami's definitely way down. You know, there's a lot of things that can kind of happen. I think when the floor those cheap moments are there, I think that really helps the market. And then we saw this when they go LE at whatever point, that's when, boy, man, this things just take off, you know. And that's the key is like, can you, you know, when base 2 was at 12,000 and we weren't sure if it was going to go to like 18,000 or 30,000, you know, there was part of us that, or, you know, even me, like I could have done a lot more damage because like Steph Curry was $20, Giannis was 15, $20. And, you know, but you're kind of being scared. And for me, I think I should have just thought, well, even if I buy 10 Stephs at $20, like, will he go to 40? Like, if he goes to 40, that's still a double. Like, so
I mean, but that's an important factor here, Jason, because you got to look at the downside. And I'll talk about this a little bit. Where's that card going to go? Or the moment, you know, like it's only got it can only go down $19 more. The upside that's the thing. Quite significant. So, and the thing is, like this I mentioned before, this is not a true market. So this is just, there's no bid offer system. So this is just long only. So as long as there's more players coming in, that supply will get soaked up. So it's just, you just got to wait it out. So even if you fuck it up and get it wrong, that's why I say I prefer to stay with the liquid players, because that supply will get bought up quicker. So it's a pretty simple game. The trick is having Dapper ready. That's really the hardest thing.
When you say having Dapper ready, like, so like I've just have my credit cards connected.
Yeah.
And so when I buy it, it just charges my credit card. Is it better to just add funds and
no? So I mean, sorry, I probably should have clarified that. I haven't needed to spend any of my own money, so I've just just selling moments to fund that. And what you find is even if you have, you know, thousands of moments, it just gets harder to sell them at certain points in that cycle when the packs are coming or they're dropping or whatever it is, because everyone's trying to sell stuff.
And everyone's undercutting, and then your cars get kind of stuck in the mud if everyone just keeps undercutting $1. So he's just saying basically, you want to have balance to buy more new stuff. And
it's always fascinating when you see like someone. So I'll give you my example. CJ McCollum tweeted, and I needed CJ McCollum for the Metallic Gold Challenge, and you know, I've been slowly acquiring. I've got pretty much all the Series 2 nows except for the big boys, like, you know, Zion, Edwards, and Steph. And so CJ tweets like a week or two ago, and Lennox is like, yo, we need that card. Like, if you're at home, like, buy up a CJ. And of course, my impulse is I can't ever buy just one. So, of course, I bought 4. And I got like I haven't lost any money, but I got a CJ number 4 for like $2,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's interesting because it's a great serial. It's a metallic. I've tried to like flip it for like 15 to 20,000, and it's just not going to go. Like it could at some point, you know, but like, let's use a different example. Like if that's LeBron, you know, like, actually, you can't even use that like as an example of LeBron, but like certainly like, you know, like a Luka or Giannis, like it would probably sell. The problem is with those guys is when their individual serial numbers, like they get so astronomical that it's kind of hard to move those as well. With this particular thing, like all these people had left their CJs at prices that weren't moving at all. And then this little bit of a run, and everyone just swallowed up all these, you know, under, you know, cheap moments at the time. And it's pretty interesting because people that price it and then just forget about it. And then all of a sudden the tide comes in and just wipes out all these guys, you know?
Yep.
I got a question for Shake. What's your thought on the cereals coming in fresh, you know, relatively new to the space? What's your thought on cereals and the value they bring or don't bring?
I understand the value and I see it sometimes, but then there are also other times where I'm like, does this cereal really matter? Like, if it's like 1 through 10,000, I feel like maybe the first like 1,000 or so matter. And after that, I'm like, does it really matter if it's a 2,000 serial or a 4,000 serial? It really doesn't to me. I know on the market it does at times, and sometimes you'll see like where, okay, this holds more value, and then other times it doesn't. So I get it, especially as a guy who like has collected cards and, a jersey number out of, this many or one of one eBay special because a certain number combination. Like, so I do get it. Like, or people buy like funny serials, like if it's like 42069 or like 2021 or 2022, like I like the serial numbers that people buy sometimes. So certain serials can lead to like, I get it, but then other times I'm like, man, why is someone paying this much just for the serial? Like it does get a little silly, I think, at times, but it all depends. It's all relative, I guess.
I saw a guy that got an Anthony Davis, the Cool Cats Anthony Davis, and it was, I'm going to just do random numbers, but it was like 64-16. And he was like, oh, 6 serial number. Anthony Davis played 64 games his rookie year and averaged 1.6 assists. And that's
how do you even get to that point? I don't know how you stretch the numbers like that. I really don't. So I don't know. My brain doesn't do that, but some people's do, and that's why they'll buy it for more. So if someone's gonna pay it, hey, I mean, might as well get the extra bucks for it. But yeah, I don't know what serials are cool like that. I don't know how you do that. That's really thinking out the box.
My strategy for serials has always been like try and get like, so like let's say like the floor is 100. If I can, and that's for like a 14,000, but if I can spend 110, 120 and get to like a 5,000.
Yeah.
And it's solely like, just for long term, as far as like, if I really just want to liquidate a card, I can just undercut by $1 the low, and
it'll easily sell because of the serial number.
Yeah. That's my only strategy for it. Aside from like, I did some buying yesterday for gold. And again, I think I paid like $20-$30 more. And instead of getting like 300 or 400, I got like a 75 and a 69 and
oh yeah, those are nice.
Same principle. Like,
obviously, Jason, where I probably stand on all this. For me, the lower the better. Obviously, when you get to the sort of nosebleed section, or the reverse of that, actually, the single and double digit numbers, that's more for collectible type of stuff. But it's basically what you've done there, Jason, is paid the $20 of insurance. Really, it's the liquidity. So like when you try to relist that, you're sort of ahead of the line. You only have to maybe drop it by $1 or $2, like Shake said, and it should move. Because we all, whether we like to admit it or not, we all scroll up and down to try and find that value to see if anyone's bugging it up and listed something where they shouldn't have.
Yep.
That's the best. So let's it's All-Star Weekend, so let's kind of end on this note. I want to know from you guys, one, who is your MVP? Who do you think makes the MVP run for the All-Star game? And and remember, like, we've had a lot of comments like LeBron, Giannis, I'm pretty sure James Harden as well, and basically saying they have like zero interest in this game. So, and the fact that they're, if I'm correct, they're doing the dunk contest in between halftime, which seems, I think they are. Like, that seems so ridiculous to take an hour break. Like, you've just gotten warm for 2 quarters and then you're going to sit there for an hour. Like, that's all these things. But so who's your sleeper pick for the MVP, and who are your next 2 guys that will be future All-Stars? Like, so the next 2 up, and it can't be Zion, Ja Morant, or LaMelo Ball.
So I think some of the guys that you're going to want to look at, like the sleeper MVPs, those are going to be the younger guys, like the Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Booker, Beal, guys like that who maybe this is their first or second All-Star game, and they're just going to want to like get their touches. Whereas like LeBron and those guys, they've been there they've done that, and like it's a little getting old for them. Again, a lot of them really don't even really want to play in this game just because they want that break. So yeah, especially if that halftime is really going to be that long, which it probably will. I didn't even think about that. It's going to take some time just to do the dunk competition. Like, man, so
you don't get out easy. You got to pick one. You can't just say 4 guys.
Yeah, I'll take Bradley Beal. I mean, he can he's leading. I think he's leading the NBA in scoring. So I mean, that's what this game is about: 3 points and dunks. Whether you can do one or the other, and if you can chuck threes and you can hit 10 real quick, then yeah. So I'm gonna go Bradley Beal. I think that's a safe one to go. So yeah.
Who's your next 2 up? Who's the first time All-Stars? The next 2 first-time All-Stars to be announced, obviously next year after.
I'm trying to think of some guys that just missed the cut this year.
It's hard to think in terms of first-time All-Stars because, like, Brandon Ingram could be an All-Star next year potentially,
but he's already been one though.
But he's been one, yeah. And I took Jamal Murray and LaMelo Ball out of the picture.
Yeah, and those are the guys that are just so close. So I'm trying to think of the names who are even left because Booker made it this year. Trying to think of some upcoming players.
Has Jamal Murray made it?
I don't think he has.
Think so, no.
So that might be a good one right there.
Yeah.
Because he's always been right on the cusp of like, I don't know, like he performs well in like the playoffs and like big games. And like he'll drop 50, it seems like every couple of weeks. But I think that might actually be one of mine. Okay. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to think of the other one. Like I've got guys in my head that are popping like Jeremy Grant, but I don't know. He's been really good this year. I don't know if that's
you can pass the Wades and he might snipe your guys.
I don't think so, man. I haven't watched the NBA for a while.
I'm gonna go James Wiseman. I'm pretty high on that guy. I don't know. I think he's been a little injured this year, but man, when he's been on the court, if you've watched him, he's got some upside. I don't know. I'm really high on James Wiseman, so I'm gonna pick him. Let's go with him. And
we'll go Murray, Wiseman, and Beal.
Yeah,
Beal for your MVP. Where are you at? Yep.
Oh man, I mean, I'm terrible at this, only because I haven't watched the NBA at all this season. Like I watched 2 games this whole season. I usually watch 2 games a day. So
I watched like 2 games last night. Yeah,
man. Like this shit's been crazy, so I just haven't had time, and that's something that's I've had to push aside. So does it have to be a sleeper? Like Lucas was going to be my pick, but you said sleeper, so the next best will probably be Bradley Beal. Really, like that makes sense.
I think Lucas actually
that's a good sleeper.
Yeah, that's still a sleeper. Because I mean I didn't put any restrictions on MVP. It's just who I was just referencing that like LeBron and Giannis basically said that they were gonna be drinking wine on the sideline and stuff and not really playing. So it wouldn't be wise to kind of take them. Although at the end of the day, LeBron is a competitor.
It wouldn't shock me if he just goes back on that so quickly.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. If you think Kobe would take an All-Star game off?
Nope. Nah. Some of those guys live for that stuff, and once they get in those games, they are just attack. Giannis is usually like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it changes, though.
So, who's your 2 future All-Stars, Wade?
Shit, I mean, that's tough. Like I said, because I haven't watched the NBA this season at all. I'm just gonna have a guess, and like Tyler Hero, maybe he'll step up. I think
he's not a bad one.
Pretty bad this season. Well, not bad. It just again, I haven't watched it. I've just seen some of the results, and I think he's been in and out of the starting lineup as well. So
yeah, they haven't been that great as like a team. The Heat team, like they've been kind of floating, but there's still a good amount of time to change.
I think they had injuries, and like there's some teams more than others. All the Texas teams have been hit hard by COVID.
Yeah,
like the Mavericks and the Spurs. The Spurs have managed. They got Popovich though, but I think even Miami's had some COVID-related issues. So some teams have been kind of stalled, and Jimmy Butler, missed a bunch of games to start too. So he's been slow getting back in the flow.
I now know what Wades is going to say as a second player. You mentioned him earlier.
No, I don't. I actually don't know what I'm going to say next.
Keldon Johnson.
All right, yeah.
So
you said he was going to be an all-star someday. So
that Lennox says Keldon.
Oh, that was Lennox.
Yeah, no man. That's again for me. The rookie class I'm firing to, I stayed with one or two guys, LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, something had to give. So I just gave up the NBA for a little while. So I'm trying to get back into it now. I do miss it, but there's just so much shit to do. Like you guys see yourself, there's just so many things you can. Even the marketplace, you can just spend hours there just looking at that.
You really can.
And I don't even do that anymore. It's like I've lost so much value not participating in any of that. So it's just because my role, Shake, is also my predominant role is the moderator of the NBA Discord, the main one. So
that sounds tough. I'm not gonna lie. I've watched it from time to time, and like it gets kind of crazy in there.
Yeah, I've stepped away a little bit last month to set up the one that we're in now. For the reasons you see. So I'm sort of going back a little bit now just to help the team out. But the team's grown exponentially. So we've got maybe 20, 30 people on board now, between the staff, and the moderators and captains and so forth. So it's a little bit easier. So well, I'm hoping to get back into the NBA.
To put a button on the All-Star, my MVP sleeper is Zion. I always
you said you can't use Zion.
No, that was. Oh, did I say I couldn't use Zion?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes. No, you said Zion. You can't use Zion.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I forgot that Zion was already an All-Star because I said the future All-Star couldn't be Zion, Ja, or.
Oh yeah, he just.
Zion's already an All-Star. So, all right. Well, would we be in agreement that Zion has a good chance of winning MVP?
I think, he's definitely got a good chance.
I think he's got a better chance of winning the dunk contest with an in-game dunk.
Oh, yeah.
First half. Imagine if he goes between the legs in the first half, and then the dunk contest guys are just like, he just did that shit in a game. Like, what do we got to do?
Like, the hype's going to be way better for the in-game dunks than it will be for I feel like I don't know. I am not high on the dunk contest at all this year. Been some bad ones.
So I'm a huge Cassius Stanley fan since he's from LA, and like I saw him play in high school, and he can. So just a little fun fact: at Duke, Brandon Ingram set the vertical record, and then Zion came in the next year and set the vertical record, and then Cassius Stanley beat both of them for the vertical record.
Wow,
I didn't know that.
Dude has like he's jumped from the free throw line, like just do the house of highlights on him, and so I think like I wanted him to have a moment so bad because he's a rookie too, and he just like he hasn't had any moments. He hasn't really even gotten the games. He's been sent to the G League, so. He like the fact that they even got him in the All-Star dunk contest is either they really couldn't find anybody or they're like, we don't care. He's that good. My future All-Stars, I'm actually, I think De'Aaron Fox.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think he's next up. And
it was close this year, I think. He was kind of close this year.
Yeah. Well, I think his team needs to be good, like you got to be more competitive and, and I think Sacramento's got a great thing going. They, with Bagley, Fox, and Halliburton and Buddy Hield, like they're just not there yet. And then I think I don't know if Jamal Murray has made an All-Star appearance, but he would definitely.
I don't think he has.
I like Jamal Murray. He's had a really quiet year. It's kind of weird actually, but.
He just dropped 50 the other night, I think. I think it was like last week or this week, maybe even.
I think it's just like, that bubble was interesting because it was so magnified. Like what Murray and Donovan did was just amazing, and you can't get that on a regular basis during the regular season. Like, so when the playoffs start and those two guys are going at each other each night, it's just hard to like, who do you take off? The All-Star rosters.
There's so many good players, like upcoming guys now.
The talent pool in the NBA is really, really something, Yeah. So we've got
Chris Paul's still making All-Star games. Isn't that crazy? Like,
see, but that's kind of like this,
He's still making it.
Is he more deserving?
He's been really good this year. People are really high on him. Like the Suns are actually good now, and he is like the one addition to them. So like, yeah.
I will give Chris Paul credit because every team that he goes to, he makes them a playoff contender. And
that's true.
Oklahoma City, no way should have been in the playoffs with that roster.
Yep.
You know, I think also a guy like Anthony Davis, who has had a relatively down year, like got it because he's Anthony Davis, you know. So that's the hard part. It's not so much players that don't become all-stars. It's, you know, removing guys that are all-stars, you know, like who do you take off the roster?
Usually sometimes injuries is the only thing that like allows a couple guys to squeak in.
Exactly. So where are we at, guys? We ready for this pack drop today? Hopefully.
I'm excited. I'm a little nervous with my computer like having issues, and I've never signed into my TopShot account outside of this computer, and like I kind of don't know my Google password. So I gotta
you can always do the mobile queue.
Yeah, I think I could do that because I do have my mail on my phone, so I could reset my password and do that. So I guess I could sign in on there. I might have to do that because honestly, we're like 2 hours away. So I'm gonna fiddle with my computer and see if I can get it going, because this happened yesterday too, where it just wouldn't turn on for a little bit. So I don't know. I gotta fiddle with it. So I'm excited, a little nervous though.
Shake, tell people where they can find you and you know, that call to action. Good stuff.
I would say you can find me on YouTube at it's just Shake4ndBake. You type that in anywhere, you'll probably find my stuff. Twitter is where I think I am probably the most consistent, just because it's so easy to tweet about things and like trying to get people more involved with TopShot. I want to do some more videos. I'll probably have one of you guys, if not both you guys, on my YouTube channel probably some point soon here. Hopefully we can arrange something. But yeah, you can find me on there. It's Shake4ndBake on Twitter and Shake and Bake on YouTube as well. All kinds of fun stuff on there as we open packs and hopefully get lucky. I'm hoping for some good stuff this weekend.
And Wade's, tell all your fans that don't already know, all the fans,
all my 6 fans.
I get you still haven't you haven't beaten Alan for most views. Alan is still the leader in the clubhouse, but
okay.
But you are right that you are Phil Mickelson, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where to find me? I'll find you. You don't find me.
It's a promise.
I just on Twitter probably. It's at Wades_ETH. I'm trying to lose that ETH as well, just because it's no longer relevant in my opinion. We're in the Flow blockchain now, so the ETH. Anyway, another show maybe, but
it's Wade's incoming.
Oh, you know what, Wades? I wanted to ask you one thing, because you're connected, and not that this will reach everyone that I'm that should actually hear the answer to this question. So there's a couple trolls out there that have definitely hit up the female members in TopShot in the community, and saying that they're basically like paid to promote. And we're talking about girls that have like less than 1,000 Twitter followers, and they're just kind of fangirls of TopShot, just like we are, And then there's people that have, created new TopShot handles or potentially changers. Like I even thought about kind of toying with my going away from bar therapist, but it's like, I've been it for so long, that was my moniker. It is what it is. What is your thought with that, as far as just like these fangirls and stuff, and like it's clear that TopShot is not paying some girl with 500 followers to tweet nothing but praise.
We don't know that, so I don't know that for a fact. It possibly is true. Because look, the thing is, everyone's early in this. Like, so the biggest follower account, aside from like the guys like Shake and all, is probably in the couple thousand maybe. So who knows what they're being paid to do, what they're not being paid to do. Look, it is what it is.
They're definitely giving out free packs to people. That's definitely happening. A lot of Twitch streamers gotten free packs. Again, as I said, they started and did like some YouTube promotion back in like October, November.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that hit that well, because again, it didn't seem like a lot of people knew about that, but they definitely do a fair amount of promoting. So they might not be paying people per se, but they definitely are giving out packs. So I wouldn't be surprised if those accounts maybe got a free pack or two. I mean,
well, and I think what they've tended to do, at least they kind of course corrected a bit much now, is if they do give a pack, it's like so that they can do giveaways.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
like because that was a little like when they first did the first kind of NBA players. Fortunately, like guys like Josh Hart, and Tyrese, and definitely Terry Rozier, like they kind of course corrected a bit in that they were like, doing giveaways, like so they would open these packs and then give away, a good amount of those moments. And that was important because if it was just, giving them, packs like as gifts, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, like
that's going to upset other people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I can speak on that a little bit because I've been through this process I'm not going to call myself a content creator because I'm not. Jason, I don't,
right.
I'm not pushing that. I come from more from the Dapper side, and early on, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, they were giving out 100 packs, 100 base packs to content creators. So I know there was one. Yeah, so there was one given out to YouTuber. I think it's Vegas something or other.
Vegas Finds.
Yeah, so he did them all on stream. So the catch there was not a catch, but the directive was that they cost $9. You buy them at $9. You can only sell them at maximum of $12 a pack. So, which is what he did. He raffled them off or whatever system he used.
Cool.
I don't know if we're going to go, or if the team. I don't speak on behalf of the team. I'm not employed by them, but I think the days of handing out 100 packs are long gone. Just because you can make a lot more impact now, giving out a pack or two to random, content creators as well, which is what they've done now.
That's what I've seen. I know one of my buddies was on stream the other night, and he gets about 5,000 to 10,000 viewers a stream. So pretty popular Twitch guy. Yeah. They gave him I think 2 packs. So I think that's what you're going to see more of, is guys getting a couple of packs and not 100. Yeah, that's a lot of packs.
Yeah. So Vegas got 100, and one of our OG breakers, Steady, they got 100 as well. So I did apply at the same time, and then later on I didn't follow up, and they didn't follow up. Anyway, I got 2 the other day, so I'll be, sort of gifting them out as well at some point in time. So it looks like 1 or 2 is going to be the shtick for everyone going forward, which I think is great because it engages everyone, as opposed to giving 100 to someone and the whole community turning against them, going, "What the fuck's going on? Why is he getting 100? No one else can get anything." So,
well, there has.
And if someone gets a free pack, it's only $9. That's it's not like a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think part of it too is now Vegas Finds is interesting because his whole thing is just like breaking packs, and there are definitely those where that's kind of the whole point of the content, right? But especially, you need to be careful. Doing giveaways is great, but if you're giving away 300 packs, and then your viewership is just kind of waiting for their bingo number to get called, and it's like being in a bingo hall is not very exciting,
Yeah.
But if you do 2 packs and you're talking about 5 or 6, that, and it takes, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to do that's pretty good content, and that's engaging enough. It's anything more than that is really kind of overkill, and that I will say, with the players doing it, and because some of them did some, long streams with a lot of packs, and it kind of drug. But the only difference is they would be talking about that play, and with Josh Hart, it's funny because it was seemed like every play was against the Pelicans, and they were getting dunked on. So that was kind of funny. Or
that was pretty good.
Or if it was a Pelicans player or something, and he was like, "Oh, I remember in this game, this was the path." There's that kind of cool context that we, of someone that was actually in that space. That's really cool.
It's definitely cool seeing the NBA guys open the packs and talk "Oh yeah, I remember this night." I'm that stuff's cool. Or I'm in the back of this moment. You can see me right there. Yeah. That's been cool. And I've tuned into a couple of those Twitch streams where they do a pretty good job with it. And they had Jacob on, I think, a couple of times too. So kind of curating everything in the giveaways and keeping the convo like Top Shot centric and like mixing in the, the random stuff too. So yeah, I like how they're doing it. It's cool. Because you just see someone like, it's hard to get packs. So if they give someone packs, they can boom, fire up a stream right then and there, and they can, promote them on the top page of the website. And it's good for the person streaming. It's good for Top Shot because 5,000 people are watching, might not know about Top Shot. Now they know and go make an account. And that's future money. So yeah, I think they're doing a pretty good job with it, honestly.
Well, cool guys. I think we're good. I can go run and get my McGriddles just in time for the pack drop. And
yep.
I appreciate you guys being on, and Wade's will certainly have some more as our official Australian correspondent. And Shakes, like you're streaming. If you need us on, we're definitely here to help you. And usually when I'm on the other side, I'm a little bit more charismatic as opposed to being the point guard of this team,
Gotcha.
So,
thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Thank you.
So go ahead, Shakes.
Oh, I was just gonna say it was fun, man. It was awesome. I love talking about this stuff. I've been getting involved with the Discord, and like I love everything on there. It's cool. A lot of good people on there. So yeah, I don't know. It's a good time, man. I'm really excited to like see this continue over the next couple months as we get more moments, and instead of having 10 moments in my account, I maybe have like 100. So yeah, looking forward to the pack drops, especially the base pack, which I already have coming, and hopefully we can get one of the packs this weekend. That's the goal.
That's the goal. Well, that's what Top Shot NFT is all about here is, highlighting the community, the faces, the people behind the avatars, even when you can only see their avatars, telling kind of the story. And I think that, maybe there's some longevity where a year from now and we're all, Top Shot ballers, superstars. There'll be some nostalgia. It's like, God, remember when we were talking about that, small ass pack drop or So again, I appreciate you being on, Shakes. Wait, as always, we'll have you on. And for Lennox and I, this has been Top Shot NFT. We will catch you next time.